Can you please introduce yourself and your role in this film?
My name is Luis, and I am the director slash writer, and sometimes PA whenever Justin is DP on set. Well, most of the times he's DP on set because that is his job. So I would usually be clapper, letting him do his thing. I didn't want to, intervene too much on them, but those are my roles.
My name is Jesus Moreno, and I was one of the camera people slash temporary director of photography.
So my name is Christian Padron. I was the main character for Ferryman. I'm known as Tristan in the film, so that was pretty much my role in this.
My name is Maddie, and I mostly did audio, but I also was a victim in the film as well.
My name is Justin Cirolara, and I'm the director of photography of this film.
Can you talk about the general plot and the concept of the story?
So the plot for this film is normal dude works a 9 to 5, he's supposed to be completely ordinary, and he gets roped into doing basically murders for a shadow government, secret organization, very sketchy, and he has no prior knowledge about it, and he's forced to do these heinous things for them.
What inspired the idea for this short film?
So I was working closely with Luis, our director. He told me that he wanted to go for something like Hotline Miami-esque. That's a old retro game. Top down, very bloody, but he didn't want to use any of the bloody action sequence. He really wanted to use the backstory that it had, where this old big bad organization was terrorizing this one dude who may or may not be innocent, at least in the game's perspective, into doing jobs. And so from there, he just goes further and further on. And in the second game, that's just where stuff hits the fan. So yeah.
Can you explain where it originated from and why you went with it?
So the original reason we went with a plot line like this, or I went with one like this, was I decided after Iris, I was like, you know what, let me write something. Justin writes all of these stories, or he's usually the one spearheading all of these, so I wanted to take my own shot at it. And so this is what I was able to come up with. In general, the plot line itself is kind of a compromise because we're students, we're broke, and we can't necessarily have all these, giant, fantastical set pieces that we'd all wish we could have. And not only that, time is a big part. So let's say we wanted to move to another part of the country to film a part. We unfortunately don't have that luxury, and also we have classes.
What message or feeling did you want audiences to take away?
Distress. I'm hoping that the time that I've shot here, I've showed the visual aspect of distress and pressure in such a uncommon situation.
What was the biggest challenge during filming?
I would say the biggest challenge, or some of the biggest challenges I would say in the film or making this film was the definitely the just some of trying to execute some of the scenes. I'm very detail oriented, so is the director Luis, and we really wanted just to capture we really wanted to capture just the kill scenes. Really wanted to capture making it look real, intense, and there was a lot of work that we put into in trying to make it look authentic as we could. I guess another challenge you could say in our film was definitely just those long nights, like Jesus mentioned, just filming till 1 a.m. They weren't fun, but we got them done. And just having to move from location to location, and kind of how far they were from between. It was definitely kind of a challenge, but we got it done. So it's not much of a biggie,
How did you bring this vision to life on a limited budget and time frame?
Hopes and prayers. There are some scenes that we may or may not want to reshoot, but that's just how it is sometimes. Trial and error until you get it right. We get different perspectives from different people. I know we communicated a lot with our professors, more specifically San Miguel. So, yeah.
Was there a scene that turned out differently than expected?
Honestly, all of them. just because whenever I read the script, I vision it a certain way in my head, and then Justin or Jesus or somebody comes in and they just envisioned it completely different, which is great. I really love what they ended up doing with the different scenes. I think we got some really cool shots that I never would have come up with. So, yeah. What was the biggest challenge during filming?
This was mentioned a bit, but having the prop being an actual metal bat did make it pretty dangerous to swing on people. I remember, primarily from Maddie and Jesus, wanted to have this effect where they would swing repeatedly on the body, so it looks like, you know, the brutality of it, kind of. However, getting it close to be safe and then, you know, not hurt anyone and then still make it look realistic was pretty difficult, and you end up a lot of times where it's like, I don't like how that looks, which is just an unfortunate byproduct of the kind of thing we're trying to film. But luckily we found out, like, later on in the film that we got around it by, if we're trying to show more the emotional aspect of it, and instead of the, you know, instead of it just being a gore fest like most slasher films, you can play into it by, hey, cut it off, use smash cuts. There's a lot of neat, smart tricks you can get around it. That's what I'd say for technical aspects. In terms of, like, the film itself, like outside of filming, I'd say just getting people together. It was usually very late. Sometimes, you know, person A can't be there and then person B can't be there. So more often than not, you're like, oh, well, now I only have a camera person and an audio person. And then now you need a person to do collaborate. You need a person to do blood on, you know, the victim's face. You need to have a person to do this. And then it's very hard to do it with just two people behind it. It's like, it's nice at best, only one person can be missing. So that's like the hardest part. If more than one person is missing, then everything kind of just crumbles.
What was the hardest scene to film?
I don't think we've struggled with the film yet, like scene wise. I think the hardest one that I feel like is gonna be more time consuming, or at least like consuming because we might have certain constraints, would be the restaurant scene we're prepping to shoot, just because we are working on a location with permission, but we don't know how much limitations we currently have with that, so that like might be a challenge.
What was your favorite moment on set?
My favorite moment on set? I liked all of the moments, honestly. I liked all of our moments on set. Mostly because behind the scenes, we're all just goofing off. We're all having fun. Of course, still getting our work done. But yeah, my favorite part was just any time before recording or after recording. We're just like, let's go get Freddy's, man. So, yeah.
What detail might viewers not notice but took a lot of work?
I would say like a lot of the kill scenes, combat scenes, any scenes involving like general action, it's very hard to capture that without accidentally hitting somebody with an actual bat, because we do use an actual bat. It's not like we have like a rubber bat or a plastic bat that we can just like freely hit somebody with without causing injury. So trying to make it look legit, trying to make it look like he's actually doing some damage is really hard, especially when having to angle it and making it look like he really is going to town on somebody. That's the most difficult part that most people don't notice.
What was the most rewarding part of production?
Man, I would say the most rewarding part of production is once we are done and we just go back on the footage and we take a look at everything that we just shot. And you just see how amazing it comes out. I would say that's the best part. I mean, you just see just the art. I mean, you just see just like how cool the shots look, how the framework looks. I mean, it's so rewarding when you see something that you create and it just pans out to how you want it to. It's just no better feeling. Not to mention that we get to go home early, or not go home early, but just like setting up, getting out of there, just having to go home and going to sleep, because like I said, there's times where we are up really late and it's really tiring, and you know, it's just really satisfying. That satisfying feeling whenever we get to go home. So
What was the funniest moment behind the scenes?
Oh my god. The funniest moment was whenever we were filming at the lake And Jesus, we were like up on a hill with the camera on a tripod, and Jesus was like down all the way, and we were trying to just get some B-roll of him skipping rocks, whatever. So we start rolling, and this dude bends over to pick up rocks. Full backside shot of Jesus. And then when he throws the rock, it just dunk in the water. It didn't even skip. And I was rolling laughing. We had to do it again. That was my favorite thing.
I would say losing the fucking bat. My God, like, how do you lose a bat? Like, we brought everything with us. I mean, we brought all of our equipment, our lighting, our cameras, our tripods, our microphones. The big old filming sign, we brought that with us. We forgot the one most important thing in our film, and that is our bat, and we lost it. I just can't believe it. It's honestly just funny just thinking about it now. I would say that, and then just the goofing off on set. I mean, everybody there, we kind of just brain rot all together in a fun way. But I mean, once we kind of get that out the way, we always lock in and we make sure that we get our stuff done. So.
When my light almost fell over the railing, we were shooting a scene in like this like pond area. It was like a pier. Like the wind kind of blew it aside because we didn't have sandbags or any weights, and it almost fried the swamp. So, you know, we would have had lunch a little earlier had that happened, but we're good.
I have a couple. Mainly, and they're from the same day. So the first one I want to mention is we were going through the first kill. Christian was supposed to, you know, pick up his bat. He's gonna get a phone call, and for some reason don't remember what happened, but he just didn't pull out his phone to answer it because we were gonna put the voice in post. And so he just walked off and looked both ways, and like he's crossing the street, and then Justin just goes behind the camera, "Where's your phone, fool?" And I thought it was the silliest thing ever.
Scene 1, take 1. And action. Why are you not on the phone?
Oh, you're right.
Cut.
And on that same day, before, you know, we called action, we're, you know, doing quiet on set, you know, roll A, scene 1, take whatever. For some reason, Justin calls out, increasing light to 11%. So it became a stim now. So, you know, nothing's happening. And I just go to Maddie or Jesus, and it's like, increasing light to 11%.
Reducing light to 11%.
He did nothing wrong. And it was nice because, like, well, at least if we reshoot it, we know what light percentage he used.
Who broke character the most?
Who wrote character the most? Honestly, Maddie. There's this honestly, our actors, we really have that many, and everybody played it pretty well. But Maddie, she had a few like hiccups of just her laughing from time to time. But other than that, like, it was pretty straightforward. It was just those small little hiccups. Yeah.
What snack kept everyone alive on set?
It's not a snack, but it's like Freddy's.
Freddy's.
I love going to Freddy's. Not talking Fazbear's, but I love Freddy's.
Everybody say Freddy's. I feel like I should say Freddy's, right? I mean, I had it a couple of times. It's great. Everybody on set loves that place. I'm more of an In-N-Out kind of Whataburger kind of guy.
Every day I envy Maddie for living so close to such an amazing place. You know.
What did this project teach you?
Friendship. No. Yeah, that too, yes. But it's just better communication with and being in a group, honestly. Our previous film for Iris, it turned out great. We all love the film, and we're aiming to just do better from there. But everything was during producing. It was a crunch down. Like, everything had to be crunched. It was crunch time. We only had like 2 or 3, like less than 3 weeks to actually finish it. 2 weeks, sorry, to actually finish it. And so we had to like just record every single day to just get it done and done with, done and down. But now, in the new semester, we're working on Ferryman. That communication actually helped a lot. Everybody was able to do stuff. We were actually able to get started pretty early on. We record at least 2 to 3 times a week, except for like maybe a week, but that was because everybody was just dying. Everybody got sick and all that. But other than that, communication really, really improved. I will say that.
If you could redo one thing, what would it be?
Any scene that I didn't shoot, just cause not to like diss my crew members, but it's just, you know, I would have loved to have partaken in that, you know, work instead of having to go home and look like that photo of Pim all shriveled up from Smiling Friends, like in my bed. And so I just really wish that I could have like had some like I was physically there with them, you know. It sucked, but I would redo those just to really just be there and help them out, give that extra hand. Yeah.
What was your favorite moment on set?
Probably when we were filming in the parking garage, just because honestly thought it was a really cool location. Having him come up out of the elevator I thought was really dope. And then the guy that we got to play the victim, shout out to Chris, he did a really good job. Like, I was not expecting that just from a random person to act so good. And so probably because I was so shocked at how cool I thought that scene came out, it was probably one of my favorite moments. Why should people watch this film?
Because we made it. That's it.
Because we made it. That's why you should watch this film. Because we made it. You gotta find out by going and watching the film yourself. That's all I'm gonna say.
Like Jesus says, because it's us. That's why. I mean, you saw our work with Iris. You saw our work with other films. You should see this film. We're him.
Why should people watch this film?
Because we made it. We. Ain't nobody else make it. We made it. And low-key, Iris is like the most viewed video on the UNTD.com channels, and we made that. So what should I tell you about this one?
We made it, you know, and it's not to like sound super cocky, but I think we are super passionate about this stuff. And I'm glad that we are now at a point where we all trust each other to work with, like within this group, because at the beginning, when we did Iris, it was unsure of how things would turn out, but then we saw how Iris turned out, the success and the conversations that came about afterwards, the round of applause we got, and it just, you know, obviously after that, we were willing to make something even better, and because of that, I mean, it brings this crew to another level, you know. So if Iris is the result of a crew who just met, then this is a result of a crew who now is like in better shape and form, you know.